Thank you very much, Desmond Silva, my techie friend. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this. It's very exciting. My name is Ernest Tannis. I'm president of My World. It was a nonprofit organization set up in 1985 in Canada with my good friend and mentor, Emil Canham, who's now on the board of directors of Heaven. And we were setting out to do something under the motto, children helping other children pick up the pieces. I had been a practicing lawyer for 47 years out of Ontario, around the world, and in that 47 years I learned a lot of things about we have to improve access to justice, and right now a lot of people think there's injustice in the legal system. So in terms of that, I began a mediation journey in 1985 and ended up trying to find out one thing in particular. What did Jesus mean by mediation? It took me around the world. I wrote the first book in Canada in 1989, an alternative dispute resolution that works. It's in a second edition in 2010. I wrote another book in 2010, Is Everyone at the Table? 18 Life Lessons in Problem Solving, which is reprinted in a second version in 2022. Each chapter can be read in less than 15 minutes. Each chapter has an original quote, and it is all now documented, and I've now, with the encouragement of many people, am going out on the internet and social media to share what I've learned from many, many others centuries ago, in my lifetime, and from all cultures in the world. There's so much knowledge. We all have a piece of the truth star. When the star of truth burst, everybody got a piece, and they say, I have the truth, I have the truth. But we got to put it together to get the one star of truth. And this website is to do that. Problem solving, conflict resolution, conflict prevention, communication skills. There are going to be videos of other events, and there will be, in addition, a regular ongoing tips, timeless insight problem solving, 1-minute clips. Every day we're going to get a clip on these kind of ideas, and they will build on many things. One thing they're going to build on at the beginning in the tips is that in 2003, my wife Mary, may her memory be eternal, she passed away. Her spirit's still with me every day. And then later that year, Gary Michaels, program director of Chin Radio in Ottawa from Toronto, told me he'd been hearing about stuff I've been doing out in the community on alternative dispute resolution and conflict resolution, learning things, writing books, sharing information, developing training programs, and wanted me to come on the show for an hour in February of 2004. So I did, and I went on the show with my business card, and on the back of it is, there's a 12-step program on all sorts of addictions, right? This is a 12-step program from the Conflict Resolution Network of Australia, tips on problem solving. So I brought that in, and I said, well, what if we take this hour? And the number one starting point for any conversation that's going to go into win-win, not win-lose, which always leads to lose-lose, is trust. So the first program was on trust. Well, it got a good reaction. So Gary said, well, Ernie, why don't you come back again? He says, you've got 12 shows here. I said, okay. So we went in and we did all 12 of these. By that time, the number of people giving good feedback was increasing. He said, Ernie, can you keep coming in? Well, I was loving doing this. Spend a day a week preparing and going on the show for an hour. So it took about a day and a half a week out of my professional time. But for me, it was sharing knowledge that what I'd love to give to people. People said they walked away every day with an idea. And then the show went on week after week after week. And all of a sudden, we're at the end of 2004. They said, Ernie, do you want to just keep going? I said, okay. So starting in 2005, every show was taped. We don't have the tapes for 2004. And that show went on for 5 years, from 2004 to 2009, every week for 1 hour, and there was only one repeat. And those shows garnered 2 national awards with the Canadian Ethnic Media Association, and Ambassador John MacDonald, may his memory be eternal, the lead peacemaker ambassador of the United States of America for 40 years under both Democratic and Republican presidents, who wrote the foreword to the Table book, said it was the only show of its type anywhere in the world. So that was very exciting. So that means there's a lot of information there. There's a lot of experiences that I have, and mostly drawn on mentors and other people have dedicated and actually given their lives for peacemaking, and you know who they are, and it's in their inspiration, and in terms of the spiritual aspect. And when I say spiritual, it doesn't matter the religion, even atheism or agnosticism and all of that. They're all kind of ways of looking at life. The key isn't what label you put on, it's what you do. And I think the idea is to, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Help your neighbor. And there's a video called Who is My Neighbor that is on this website. And it's helping one another. And in fact, whether you believe who Jesus Christ is or whatever, he was a real figure, but there is a statement, the last commandment to his disciples was, love one another as I have loved you. That is in the Greek agapan. Agape is one of 7 words in the Greek. Eros is erotica, philios is friendship, but agape is the ultimate love between God and creation, or the ultimate love between anybody, including, as the Aboriginal people say, love of nature, love of creation, because we're all interconnected. And agapan is the verb form. I was told by a theologian there's no verb form of agapan in the Greek text, but Hans Kung, who passed away last year, a great Catholic theologian, he wrote back to me, because when I had 100 books sent to scholars around the world, because of the book in 1989, ADR That Works, was a bestseller. All the royalties went to the Canadian Institute for Conflict Resolution, which I helped co-found, out of which we operated. The idea was that the teachings are put into action. And Hans Kung, in his book, great book, said that there is one Greek text that says agapan. It's the only one, and it is that commandment, to love one another as I have loved you. And I love doing this. I really enjoy doing this. I hope you enjoy doing it and work together and interact with this message on this site. And I thank all those who have encouraged me to do this. And it's part of this journey that brings us all together in terms of caring for one another. Isn't that life's purpose?